Good morning, everyone, and I hope you are fine wherever you are. I've decided to make this channel uh, both a platform for local news and international news. I have decided that on Fridays I'll be reporting on events outside Kenya, mostly African countries and other parts of the world. So today I will give the first episode or the first session of news reports from across Africa and all throughout the world. I'll be basing my reports on evidence from news outlets and articles written by their correspondents in Africa and the world. So I hope you will be informed and you will have insights on what is going on in Africa and other parts of the world. Our report starts in Uganda. We are going to start from countries closer to Kenya as we extend outwards. On March 21st, 2023, the Ugandan parliament enacted homosexuality law or same-sex relations law. This law prohibited same-sex relations in the country. Then on 29th May, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni signed this law into this bill into law, meaning that it was operational from that day. In his specifications, Museveni deemed the homosexuality law a strict regulation of sex relations in the country and an opportunity for the Ugandan nation to revive morality. One of the recommendations in the law that Museveni signed was a death penalty, and I mean death penalty for aggravated homosexuality. The president emphasized that for those promoting the act of same-sex relations, or popularly known as LGBTQ, death penalty awaits them. The president also proposed within the law a 20-year sentence for promoting homosexuality. In reaction or in a rejoinder to President Museveni's law, US President Joe Biden emphasized that the United States is considering restrictions, popularly or commonly sanctions, to the Ugandan nation and their president. And he also emphasized that the United States is considering travel bans for Ugandan lawmakers or state officials supporting the violation of human rights. That is Uganda. Now, Uganda's case, which is still considered hot, is the same-sex relations law, which has been prohibited in other 31 countries in Africa. But the West, which is popularly represented by the United States, considers the Ugandan ban on same-sex relations a violation of human rights. Be the judge. That is in Uganda. Let us move to Somalia. On May 26th, Al-Shabaab suicide bombers attacked a UPDF manned camp, that is a camp manned by Ugandan soldiers, and according to reports by the Ugandan president Yoweri Museveni, 54 Ugandan soldiers were killed during the attack. However, according to a report by Al Jazeera on 4th June 2023, 137 people died from this attack. So the Ugandan president notes that only 54 soldiers were killed from the attack. However, Al Jazeera reports that this number could be higher, to 137 people dead from the attack. And Ethiopia also reported yesterday that they foiled an Al-Shabaab attack near their border. And now the Al-Shabaab situation in Somalia is extending to its neighbors, Ethiopia and Kenya. Let us move to Sudan. We all know that Sudan has been experiencing a lot of fighting in the recent days, and plainly it has been 8 weeks since the Sudan conflict started. Many people call it a civil war because it pits the current president and the Sudan army, led by the army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, against his former deputy and former ally, who is the general of the Rapid Support Forces RSF, Mohamed Hamdan Emeti Dagalo. Since the war started, it has been reported that nearly 2,000 people have died and thousands have been displaced. According to a report by Al Jazeera on 8th June, that is yesterday, 2023, the ceasefire, which was initiated, 12-day ceasefire, which was initiated, expired on June 3rd, and since then heavy fighting has been witnessed in the African country. I think the world and the African Union should step up actions and promote dialogue between the two forces, and to protect citizens and avoid the violation of human rights. That is in Sudan. From Sudan we go to Nigeria. Nigeria, the current president Bola Tinubu was sworn in on 29th May after very disputed general elections, of which he won with a 37% margin against his closest rival, that is Atiku Abubakar of PDP, who garnered 29%, and their closest competitor Peter Obi, who garnered 25%. President Tinubu is assuming office at a time when the Nigerian nation, or the West African country Nigeria, is suffering economic disappointments. There is increasing rivalry, ethnic rivalry, and high unemployment rates, insecurity and corruption. Then I think the president has a tough job in bringing the country together. Although in his swearing in speech he emphasized the need for unity and bringing the country together and harmonizing rivalry between the ethnic entities in the country. I pray that things are done well and major milestones are achieved in Nigeria. From Nigeria we move to South Africa. We all know that South Africa is one of the largest economies in Africa. In fact, South Africa is second in terms of GDP after Nigeria, with a GDP of around 415 billion compared to that of Nigeria, which is 504 billion. However, since the end of apartheid in 1994, South Africa has been suffering from high rates of corruption, civil crime, unemployment, corruption, theft, and many other leitmotifs which have embroiled the country in a suffering mode. Recently, long power blackouts were witnessed in the country, which is unimaginable. In fact, in an Auditor General report in 2020, out of the 257 municipalities in the country, only 27 received a clean bill of health from the Auditor General. Another report by Al Jazeera noted that the South African region of Amaxkral, that is a small town near Pretoria, 23 people have since died from cholera. 23 people have died of cholera. That is as of 8th June, yesterday, 8th June 2023. 23 people have died of cholera. Another report by Yoliswa Sobua of News 24 yesterday, 8th June 2023, stated that the death toll had risen to 31. Those who have died of cholera in South Africa had risen to 31. Apart from the deaths, there were 166 confirmed cholera cases and 202 suspected cases in 5 provinces. On power blackouts, Julius Malema stated when during his interview in the Hard Talk with Stephen Sakur of BBC, he stated that South Africa is, let me say, deathbed. The situation there is worse. What is being experienced today has never been experienced before. So there needs to be something should be done to evade the situation. He actually emphasized and implored and requested the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa to pull up his socks and solve the economic and social problems currently facing South Africa. In fact, in the 21st century, things like power blackouts and cholera breakouts leading to deaths of many citizens are unimaginable. I think that I should urge the government of South Africa to step up efforts and ensure that citizens are protected and social services are provided. Electricity is important to life and healthcare is important to life. From South Africa, we move to a very important country, that is Ukraine. We all know that the war in Ukraine has been going on for more than a year, and many people have died and many people have been displaced from their homes. The war started with Russian President Vladimir Putin declared special military operation in Ukraine, and such a declaration led to a full-scale war in Ukraine. Many people have died, I'm sorry to say, many people have died, and many people have been displaced from their homes, majorly in Ukraine. And according to reports, by the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, 8,983 civilian deaths have been reported and 15,442 people have been injured. The Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights states that the number of deaths and displacements could be higher because they have not they are yet to be verified. And we all know that recently on 6th June the Kakuva Dam, which also functions as a hydroelectric power station, collapsed, and since then Ukraine blamed the collapse of the dam to a terrorist attack by Russia, while Russia emphasized that the collapse of the dam was an ecological disaster. I will end this report with a message to the Russian president and Ukrainian president and the members of NATO. The war in Ukraine is plainly between Russia and NATO, and I believe that NATO should ensure that Ukrainians are protected and their human rights are upheld. By doing so, I think they should engage in diplomatic relations and agreements with Russia instead of supplying weapons to Ukraine to support the war. Citizens are dying, people are suffering, children are dying, many are being injured, and many are leaving their homes. War is not the solution to everything, and I think engagements and talks can solve everything. With the report from Ukraine, I think we are done, and I pray that you have a good day and watch this video, share it on all platforms, and most importantly, subscribe. I did say that I'm open to criticism. Criticize me. When I say something which is not right, please note that and criticize me. Criticism is learning, and those who are being criticized develop deeper insights into what is being discussed. I will post a new video on the political situation in Kenya, and before that, I pray that you watch this report, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and have a good day.